Hello, today I'm here to discuss the oneness of consciousness. The oneness of consciousness is divinity consciousness, or Christ-like consciousness, since they're on the same wavelength, almost. But divinity consciousness is one step above Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is, in fact, the consciousness of Christ. This is humanly obtainable, and we must find Christ consciousness. The infrastructure of this 13-dimensional lateral universe, multiverse, dimension. We live in one dimension that consists of 13-dimensional laterals, 13D reality. These 13Ds are the construction of a 72-dimensional multiverse. Yes, there are 72 dimensions, one of which is actually the 13-dimensional lateral dimension that we live in. We live in 13-dimensional lateral dimensions, and the infrastructure of the 13-dimensional lateral dimensions are actually the composition of a universe. Each one of them, like DNA strands, that is a DNA strand, and the molecules of the DNA strand, the compact molecules of the DNA strand, are the molecules of consciousness. They're the molecules of each of the 13-dimensional lateral. The 13-dimensional lateral also is represented in the tree of life, the 10-dimensional lateral. A 10-dimensional lateral is the 10 dimensions that incorporate this universe, but there are three others, and they're the linking chains. The unmentioned three others are actually the 3D, depth, perception, spatial. So basically, the rest of the 10 are spiritual dimensions within, besides space and time, are the spiritual components of this dimension. It is not separate dimensions. They are actually dimensional laterals that are consistent with this dimension. The 10 dimensions and the three other dimensions, they're all about the different dimensions. There are 10 of them, there are 13 actually, but there are 10 main ones. These three ones come after a part of one of the big foundation, which is, of course, the dimension that the three other dimensions come under. Therefore, we have actually 10-dimensional laterals, but there were actually 72 dimensions that are in this plane, this strip. It's a diagram. The diagram is strips. They're DNA linking strips. They connect to each other. There are different strips. There are different ways of being, different strips, different ways of being, different dimensions. All of them are consistent with each of the dimensional laterals. Each one has their own dimensional lateral, their molecules that link to other molecules, link to other molecules in a DNA pattern that consists of one strip, which is a bowl. Like, they form like little bowls, and what happens is each bowl connects to other bowls, to other bowls, to other bowls inside of one thing, and then you have a universe. And each plane is like a little bowl on top of another ball, and inside of different balls, inside. And then you get down to a P. And these are the universe, multiverse that we live in. Therefore, each of the multiverses is actually consistent of different planes, strips, DNA strands, and they're all connected. They're all connected. And if you try to think, you influence them. Your thoughts actually influence them. If you don't think, your thoughts don't influence. So what does this have to do with oneness? This is becoming one with the multiverse in your dimension. We live in a 13-dimensional lateral, and we also live in a being that is concrete. Each of these different dimensional laterals are different than a dimension. A dimension is just a realm of existence. Therefore, we can affect each one of them by intention. Intention is how we affect them. Now, intention can be done through magic, it can be done through manifestation, mentality, all of the 7 pointed stars, morality, mentality, metaphysics, magic, mysticism, manifestation, and mythology, right? They can all, it's not exactly in that order, but they can all be created equally. These are all created equally. But the thing about magic, magic isn't voodoo and witchcraft and all that. Magic, in my terms, is power of intention. Your intention affects how you affect each of these dimensions. Different rituals, different incantations, and different incantations can affect each of these. You say, I am smart. You can become smart. You channel your proper energies into your intention. You can create. How do we manifest the universe? We manifest the universe quite simply. When we manifest time, we manifest time. We live in time. Time doesn't actually exist, it's just a river. All energy is a river. All being is a river. All love is a river. All of it is a river. Listen, if you find peace, if you find love, if you find all the things of the grand scope, and you still don't have mercy, you still don't have well being, you still don't have all that, it's because you don't have a proper foundation. See, the chakras, each 10 chakras, each 13 chakras correspond with 32 chakras, and the 32 chakras correspond to each of these 13 dimensions. Each of these 13 dimensions are, in fact, relative to understanding consciousness. Also, if you understand consciousness, you understand being, and to be is to be conscious. You're always conscious. You can't escape consciousness. But expansion of consciousness is awareness.